Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central on this beautiful Wednesday morning, reaching you live from the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, the city of aquatic splendor. You're welcome to, today is actually Thursday.
Well, I was waiting for you to land,
so... Yeah, it was because I was missing you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
Breakfast
Sorry about that.
Central yesterday was one half Breakfast Central, one half Breakfast Extra. And we had a good time.
No, it was nice. Yeah. It was nice. I was able to drop in and
shout out to Judith,
thanks, Judith,
wherever you are in the world. Yeah,
wherever she is in the world.
Yes.
Was she going to AU Summit?
No, or maybe she was going to Angola.
Okay, so she cut the trip short.
G20.
So she said no. That's why she was okay.
Wow, you're welcome. I am Benga Borowa. As always, on Breakfast Central, we bring you all the latest news, insightful discussions. We dissect the big stories in the news. We also bring you the front pages of the newspapers where you can feel free to call in and share your thoughts with us. You're welcome to the program.
That's right. And I'm Joe Hansen, welcoming you to Thursday morning. Well, so much has happened right from yesterday and right from when you went to bed to sleep up until this morning. It's our duty to bring you up to speed with the latest stories. Do not forget, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can join us and watch. And also at the same time, you can drop a comment or two. There's a lot happening, and our hearts are indeed going out to the people of Kwara State, the residents. It's a sad time for them, and this is a moment where everyone needs to have a deeper reflection on what really is happening in this society. Benga, yesterday I looked at it in a different way. In the past 7 days, or you'd say 14 days, a lot has happened. Let me just put it in clear context. In a month, a lot has happened in the Nigeria security space, and it's enough for one to start wondering where and what is really going on. You did have the President of the United States who decided to chime in and talk about insecurity issues. Well, that was pushed aside. While that was being pushed aside and being leveled down, you did have the attacks that started coming. And they started coming in trickles, and now it's continuing. A general was killed, which I couldn't bring myself to watch the video. I did hear the videos were on Telegram. They were being shared by the same the insurgents group. They were sharing the videos and people were screaming. Now there's a lot of back and forth even in communication when all these things were going on. It also took the presidency more than 48 hours, over 50 something hours, to react to the
something as serious as that.
Yeah. Exactly. But it took the presidency nothing less than 2 or 12 hours to react to political issues. And I'm talking about the SSA and so on.
The issues at the PDP.
The PDP, you see the quick response. Also the issue where you have ADC member talking against the current administration. The current administration reacts almost immediately. But it had to do with the children, the girls who were kidnapped. 25 of them, I hear 2 of them escaped. One had serious injuries. So it comes down to 23 of them. If you are a parent, I don't think, you cannot sleep. There's no way you will close your eyes and sleep, Benga. That you know that your daughter is somewhere with unknown assailant, people that you don't know. How are you going to cope? So it's been a terrible time, for a country. And then you also hear that the NYC members
had an accident.
How many of them have died? You're trying to cope from here and here. It's really, I must say this,
it's been really a week of
time.
Bad news, more than a week. Yeah. And you rightly highlighted, the presidency and the government communication has been below par. They haven't stepped up to the plate, and it's almost like, okay, they're forced to even acknowledge some of his deaths, but it's quite terrible. Let's start off with our wake-up conversations today. As you know, that's the tradition here on Breakfast Central. Piers Morgan show, yes, that's where we start with. Nigeria's foreign minister Ambassador Yusuf Tuga was on the Piers Morgan show, very popular, and he clashed. But there was a clash between Nigeria's Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuga and former Canadian Member of Parliament Goldi Gamari on Piers Morgan's show, quickly spiraled into one of the most heated exchanges the program has seen in months. Gamari accused the Nigerian government of ignoring what she described as a Christian genocide, citing claims of over 50,000 Christian deaths and thousands of churches destroyed since 2009. The foreign minister firmly rejected the figures as widely exaggerated, insisting that the government does not record victims by religion and noting that official data shows 177 Christian deaths and 102 churches attacked in the last 5 years. The tension escalated as it called her a disgrace to the Canadian nation, while she accused him of lying and whitewashing atrocities. The back and forth exposed a deep emotional dive over how Nigeria's insecurity should be framed as terrorism, communal conflict, or targeted religious persecution, and who gets to define the narrative. Don't take my word for it. Let's take a listen to how that exchange went down.
He's avoiding questions. He's avoiding eye contact. Instead of actually answering the questions, he's focusing more on trying to attack me and trying to, go after me because I'm not as familiar with the Constitution. I don't need to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to understand that, over 50,000 Christians have been murdered since 2009. I don't have to be familiar with the Constitution of Nigeria to know that when someone yells Allahu Akbar before they massacre 200 Christians and burn Christian churches, that's not just banditry, that's jihad. And I think the reason that the foreign minister does not want to admit this is because they are somehow complicit in this. And, he is purposely saying that he is willfully ignorant, because how could the Nigerian government not know if those people who have been murdered are Christian or Muslim? The reason that he's avoiding saying that is because if they actually put out formal numbers about the numbers of Christians targeted and murdered, then they will have to admit that there is a genocide. They don't want to admit that there's a genocide, but that's exactly what's happening, and I'm glad President Trump and others are calling it out.
Well, that conversation, that's just a little we can bring forth, especially to you. But if you go online, you find the entire interview. It was a tough one to actually handle. And we did see the Ambassador Tuga, who tried to, reel out. I think where I got a bit worried was when he was asked if he has the figures. And we could tell how he was scrambling and trying to ensure that he had it and eventually got it. But it wasn't coherent. It was neither here nor there. Okay, is it from 2019 or is it from since when you got into power and so on? There's a lot, but we're not here to further add salt to injury. I think what we're here to do is simply to look at it and then highlight some of the major breakdowns.
I think this debate has gone on for too long.
Yeah.
We need to just stop the killings and kidnappings and insecurity incidents in the country, because the damage has been done. And in order to honor the lives of the victims that have been done, the only thing the government can do now is to put an end and a stop to this and make sure justice is served. Yesterday, the Nigerian Air Force did carry out some air interdictions in the Sambisa Forest area. They neutralized a number of terrorists. Those are the kind of stories we want to hear, that they fold an attack and bandits have been neutralized and terrorists have been killed. And we need a sustained and hard campaign to put an end to this, because all this back and forth will not bring back the victims.
Yes, it will not bring back the victims. And I agree with you on the fact that we need an immediate effort being done now. But the truth is, this is where I would say two truths can coexist. If there is a problem, if there really is a problem with a religious issue, if it has a religious undertone or a tribal undertone, the killings, then that should be investigated. That should be explored and that should be dealt with, because you can't project into the future without looking at what the cause is. It's just like me coming to tell you now, oh, my feet is swollen, and you start giving me medication to reduce the swelling of the feet when we haven't actually investigated. Is everything all right on the inside? Are her kidneys working well? Is her heart working well? Because you treat that symptom, it will come back again. So if we do have an issue watching that video of the killings, the live stream video, seeing that old woman in the church scrambling for safety, and then her nephew coming out later to talk about it on X and say that that was his grandmother and 2 of his aunties were kidnapped. We can't continue to have the ostrich in the sand approach and pretend and, conclude that, okay, you know what? It's just like saying when people come out to say Black Lives Matter and you say to them, oh, it's not about Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, right? All Nigerians matter, but also the lives of the Nigerian Christians matter. So it's a conversation that we can't continue to sweep under the carpet. And, we've made it a political issue. Look at this video. What have these people done? All they did was converge to worship, and then bandits attacked, killed people, and then carried. I think this was look at this old woman. Look at this old woman scrambling to safety.
It's a failure of the Nigerian state not to be able to do the basic, and the most basic thing is to protect the lives of Nigerians living in this territory, regardless of where you are. This is coming less than a week after those girls were kidnapped.
Yes, so I feel like it's been a hard time. I open social media and my heart is heavy, then I shut it down. It's a hard time to be a Nigerian, living in Nigeria. Even a Nigerian in the diaspora, it's really a hard time for us because it feels like we haven't caught a break. Right now, we've even moved on from the conversations of the economy to just talk about safety. Nigerians just want to be safe. Nigerians just want to be able to go to bed and wake up in their houses, go to their jobs or wherever they hustle for their daily bread and come back home. And the government, if not providing the security for us, is failing. It's not a matter of if not. The government is failing us. While this is happening, people are standing up to on your mandate we shall stand. While we have made everything about politics. PDP, they're doing the ones they're doing in Abuja, embarrassing themselves. Politicians have made it all about themselves. Girls are there right now. Nobody knows what's happening to them. They've been... Anyway, I don't want to say that because it's unverified reports, but it's really a sad time to be Nigerian. So anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's unverified. Anyway.
And there was reports that some soldiers on their way to rescue.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure if it's verified yet, if it's official press. Again, the summary of what I'm trying to say is it's a hard time to be a Nigerian right now. Nigerians are just literally asking to be able to stay alive, to be able to express their freedom to worship, to not be worried about if bandits are going to attack them in the church or attack them in their houses or kidnap them or kidnap their kids. It's now a stock in trade. Kidnapping is a normal thing. You see people sharing accounts on social media of how they had to pull resources together. Even on this show, we had a guest who came here, Dotun Ojo, and was sharing an account of how a family friend was kidnapped. They all pulled resources to pay for his ransom. Now he's out. He's having to find the money to pay the people who paid for his ransom. Is that a way to live?
And then my worry is, and everything is going on like it's normal.
That's the biggest problem.
And then you had the vice president who had visited these families whose girls were kidnapped.
Before he visited the family, it was a Lokoja
shouting
for Idris Wada's defection.
1 + 1 = 4.
A day after.
And
I'm sure they have intelligence report that incident had happened. You could have called it off. They don't care about optics.
That is the problem.
Or the message
they don't even care
send.
how it looks to, and that's even the scary thing.
And it seems the Americans are even more concerned than us that are in the country and than the government. You feel that they will sit up, would have appointed ambassadors by now. They're so relaxed about it. I heard their back channel communications. But, I mean, you haven't even addressed the nation. The president has only been releasing
that's what I said.
That's talking to his fellow ministers.
And that's what I said yesterday. I said, in other countries, the president ought to have addressed the people.
Yeah, they are unprecedented times.
Not just because of the rising cases of insecurity, but for the fact that you had a general that was killed and was murdered.
And everything that has happened, a threat to our corporate existence by another country. It's
really sad. Let's go on a very quick break and take a breather. We'll come back to continue Wake Up Conversations.
I said, the lady and people like her trade in starting wars in faraway places where they have no contacts, they have no understanding of, and they can do that from their armchairs from a safe distance. It's a real life situation. This lady would not know the difference between a Fulani man, a Tiv man, an Igbo man, if they stood in front of her. But you can see clearly overnight, because it pays, she's probably making money out of it.
Actually, I'm getting $0 for this. I'm getting paid zero. I'm getting paid zero for this. I have been speaking out against human rights violations. Listen, Pierce, as you can tell, he's not able to actually answer anything that I'm saying. All he does is just attack me and attack my credibility. So I think this shows the viewers exactly where the Nigerian government is.
She's going to keep on insisting that she has not heard the figures. So that's what she's trying to do, start a war. They want to break up Nigeria the same way they broke up Sudan, and now they've run away. She's not talking about Sudan anymore. She's not talking about South Sudan.
I actually have talked about Sudan in other episodes as well.
For Sudan to be dismembered. This is what they do. This is what they do. What they try to do to Africa. Nigeria is the largest country on the African continent. It is the largest shock absorber to the African continent in terms of admitting migrants, in terms of freedom of religion. It's Africa's largest democracy. But people like you, who don't really care about freedoms, about the freedoms of either Christians or Muslims or Africans, will continue to agitate for the breakup of Nigeria, for war. The same way that it's happening in South Sudan, and you've kept mum because you've moved on.
The reason that I know that you are working with the Islamic Republic of Iran is because the Islamic Republic puts out the same narrative about balkanization. That balkanization narrative is something that the Islamists constantly use.
That Africans are losing their lives. To begin with, those figures are completely and totally inaccurate and false, and many in the media have examined them, they've fact-checked them, so they come from Inter-Society and Open Doors, and they've been shown to be totally inaccurate. What we have in Nigeria is a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious country of 230 million people. Our nation-building project is not an easy one. We have suffered from the effects of things that we have no control over, exogenous factors such as the breaking up of the Libyan state, the killing of Gaddafi, the proliferation of weapons and fighters that have cascaded down to the northern fringes of Nigeria and beyond, and have affected the entire region. The failure of the EU Sahel strategy over the years, these are all things that we are suffering the effects of. And we do have Boko Haram in the Lake Chad region that affects not just Nigeria, but 3 other countries, Niger, Chad, and
very tough one. This is a tough time for even the number one citizen of the country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is a tough time. It's also a tough time for members of the cabinet. Also a tough time. So we're starting to see it cascade from the top coming down. My worry is the fact that it's starting to eat deep into the internal affairs of even those who are supposed to protect Nigerians. It still baffles me that the president has not had a State of the Nation address up until today. I cannot count how many times.
Overdue.
Yes, I cannot count how many times Donald Trump has addressed Americans. I cannot count how many times the Brazilian president has addressed his people. I cannot count how many times even South Africa president has had SONA, State of the Nation address. You know, you can't count. But I think that Nigerians would like to hear a general. Bring guys deep.
You know, the armed forces, they're trying their best. And Yusuf Tuga said something very interesting just now in the clip we watched. Because the danger of a single story is to think, oh, everything is not connected, or everything just happened now. It didn't happen now. And I'm not making excuses, but we're suffering from the effects of policies of other people that are very far away from us. The failed EU Sahel strategy, the killing of Gaddafi, small arms and lighter arms proliferation and fighters. All
I
of
agree.
that. But that's no excuse. You are commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Your number one duty is to protect Nigerians, and Nigerians are looking up to you. You knew the problems before you
That's
put
exactly
yourself...
what I wanted to add, because
put
he
your
said we should
hands
not pity
up.
him.
Exactly.
He was
And
aware.
said
It's not
you
like
were
these
going
are
to
brand
be
new problems.
a leader. So do everything within your powers. We've had change of personnel at the top military hierarchy. Some are saying, why is the National Security Advisor not been changed if you change the service chiefs? That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the Nigerian Senate did raise a motion that the armed forces should absorb 100,000 Nigerians on an increased
24,000
recruitment efforts. We need to strengthen our intelligence gathering. Security analysts have said drones are the way to go. You don't need to have boots on the ground to cover wide geographical areas. Drones can give you
Precision.
targets, and you have eyes where it would take quite some time to mobilize troops. So we need to put all our efforts together and suspend politicking for now, because the way the politicians are behaving, both the ruling and opposition parties, it calls for concern. Yeah. And it doesn't inspire hope in ordinary Nigerians.
I don't know if we have what Nigerians are saying about this story, but I'm sure that Nigerians are baffled, they are worried, they are in pain, they are scared, they are thinking what the future really holds. Ikenna says the minister clarified that Nigeria does not record deaths by religion. His focus, he explained, is on the fact that all victims are Nigerians, regardless of faith. That's what he said. And whether you like it or not, many have said, yes, of course, that was a right statement to make, because we cannot single-handedly separate a Nigerian by his religion. Look at this guy, swinging in his chair, getting numbers of churches. Look at this guy. What is even the difference between us and Sudan now? Do these men even understand what he...
Anthem. If the president hasn't walked to his destination by the time you finish the first stanza,
repeat this again.
you play the second stanza.
You guys are...
Or you repeat.
In fact, the National Orientation Agency had released a guideline for how to handle government events, that on Independence Day you play stanza 1, 2, 3.
Stanza 1, 2, 3.
On other regular events you play
Stanza
only
1.
one stanza. Then the second stanza serves, I think the second or third stanza that serves as the national prayer, right?
Yeah.
So if you finish stanza 1 and the president has not reached, you repeat stanza 1 again. At the end of the day, it's still the same tune. Nobody knows what you're
I think
repeating.
the chief of army staff might have to put a call to the head of Nigerian Army Band Corps.
And you know
to
why?
Stop. Because
Benga, chief of army staff's hand. See.
Okay, the presidential handlers
See,
should
the
just
way I
tell
feel
them to
now
stop.
is different. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Let's see. The problem is, chief of army staff has a lot to deal with now.
Yeah, but the Band Corps is under the Nigerian Army.
Wait, Benga, the Band Corps is playing. Has any SSA released a statement on X? I'm going to mention, as Bayo Nanuga released a statement. Has the so-called, forgive me to call him the man who talks too much, Reno Mokri, has he released a statement to ban it? You see, people who always talk quickly and condemn, why haven't they condemned their own errors?
You know why?
They've
not
done that.
You know why they will not speak about it? Because they don't think it's much of a big deal.
They're observing table manners.
No, they don't think it's a big deal. But I must mention that
the army is going through a lot.
Big deal. Why it is a big deal?
It's a big deal.
The campaign song of the president, the campaign song of the All Progressives Congress, not be sung at official events. Why it is a big deal is because it gives off the impression that the president is only the president of the All Progressives Congress. He's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and at government events, what should be sung is the national anthem.
You're building a cult of personality. Bola on your mandate, it's giving North Korea. The fact that you even have that infinity cap symbol is so, and the governor of Edo State is saying if his commissioners don't wear it. So it's not just the symbolism. You have that cap, and now you have music to accompany it. And that's how it starts. Well, before we become a mini North Korea.
Just to mention to our audience, let us know on YouTube, what your thoughts are. Is it much ado about nothing? Do we just move on from this? Are we making a mountain out of a molehill? Or is it as big a deal as we think it is?
As NATO C will say, it will say, a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big
We're
deal.
streaming live on YouTube and News Central. But now let's share with you what our headlines and our top stories this morning are on Breakfast Central. This morning on Breakfast Central, top stories: federal government urges resident doctors to end strike, saying 19 out of their 20 demands have been met. Military takes over Kwara community following deadly bandit attack. And the Vice President, Alhaji Kashim Shatima, consoles the families of Kebbi kidnapped schoolgirls. Still looking at what's happening, the federal government has rejected the characterization, saying that no data supports Christian genocide claim. The newspaper front pages will be reviewed this morning. Join us for all these and more.